Coming up on Sports Night.
The #1 team in the nation continues its postseason push.
Baseball faces an in-state rival in Champaign.
And a pair of Wildcats are trying to make their mark as professionals. Charles, the excitement is starting to build here in Evanston. Lax is rolling in the tournament. Women's golf is back to defend their title. And most importantly, Dillo Day 2026. That's on Saturday, Race to Dillo. And are you going to be there?
Well, Pierson, I've listened to a couple of the songs of the people that are performing, but I can't say that I've intentionally listened to their songs. Malcolm Who? I don't know anything by day, I don't think. Maybe they've dropped a few bangers, but I'm not sure if it's enough to get me out there.
I would say they might just exceed your expectations. I don't know, though. But either way, sometimes you're turning on the radio and you're asking, I need you, I need you, I need... What do I need, Charles?
I think I need Sports Night right now. Welcome into Sports Night, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Charles White, joined by Pierson Strandquist, and we have a fantastic lineup for you tonight.
One indeed. Some are saying it might just be even better than what Mayfest cooked up this year. And we might have some extra. You'll hear all about it. We have some things on the show that we're debuting tonight. We're so excited to get to them.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. Can't wait. We'll get to that a little bit later. For now, let's tune into what fans at home have seen before. Some dominant Northwestern lacrosse play. They were looking star-studded when we last saw them. Just a few hours ago, #1 Northwestern dealt Colorado a crushing defeat in overtime to seal its spot in the NCAA Final Four. Noelle Cumberland scored the game winner on a free position opportunity. Gabby Egozi is at Northwestern Medicine Field at Martin Stadium with more right now.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, this afternoon's game was nothing short of electric. It had everything on full display, and it's exactly why you watch the game. It's to see these moments. It's to live for these moments. And both teams put on defensive performances and electric offensive performances. Maddie Taylor, 4 goals of her own. Taylor LaPointe, 3, and then Noelle Cumberland with the game-sealing goal in double overtime to send the Cats back to the Final Four. Both teams went neck and neck. So many lead changes, so many ties throughout, but it is Northwestern who will come out on top. Kelly Monty-Hiller now 38-0 here in NCAA tournament victories. So it sure will be a good one next weekend back here in Evanston. But before that, we have to recap what happened here on the Lakeside Field and who sealed the game for the Wildcats, none other than Noelle Cumberland, the junior, who has had a breakout season. Kelly Monty-Hiller talked a little bit post-game about what she's meant to this team and her growth throughout the season.
She's like a different human being this year, right? She worked really, really hard over the summer into the fall, not just on her physical game, but even more so on her mental game. And, I really pushed her on that, and it's been all the difference to see her believe in herself. That was not the case before. To see her be positive in really tough moments, that was not the case before.
Some high praise there from Coach on Noelle Cumberland's growth. And alongside Cumberland today, Taylor was so heroic for the Wildcats, but there was actually a moment in that overtime period where Maddie Taylor got a penalty card and had to sit for 2 minutes. Actually something that's a little bit unfamiliar for her within the game. She's always going on the field, so having to sit with some unfamiliar territory. Here's what she had to say about it.
We were sorry about that. Definitely not what I expected, especially when the game's so tight like that, but at the same time there was just so much belief around me. It was actually crazy how much people were smiling at me after being in the penalty box for 2 minutes, and the way that everyone was cheering after I was able to run back on the field was also incredible. So I feel like that's just like a testament to what this program's all about, and this belief that we pour into each other every single day. And even in the hardest of moments in a game where people are able to still believe in me like that is just incredible.
Well, this afternoon sure was exciting for Wildcats fans, and now they have a lot to look forward to next week as Final Four weekend kicks off here in Evanston. Northwestern will take on Johns Hopkins on Friday for a shot at doing something that Princeton did back in 2004, which is play in the national championship on their home turf. Northwestern will look to try to do that here at the Lakeside Field next weekend. Thanks, guys, and sending it back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Gabby. Now, before today's big win, the Wildcats had to get another against James Madison on Sunday. It was a dominant 17-5 victory, with Madison Taylor scoring a season-high 8 goals. But Northwestern got big help in another way from a former JMU player in Maddie Epke. Now, she stepped into an important role this season for the Wildcats. Our own Fallon Prince has more.
Second round of the NCAA D1 Women's Lacrosse Championship, Northwestern dominated James Madison University 15-7. This wasn't just a team victory. For one Wildcat, it was personal. When Coach Kelly Amante Hiller heard that Northwestern would be facing off against JMU on Friday afternoon, she knew that Maddie Epke's familiarity with the team would be crucial in preparation and the Wildcats' success.
We just knew that Maddie had a lot of knowledge. We knew that she was ready to step up in this moment, and we wanted to kind of give her the keys to be able to do that and, you know, just battle.
Epke transferred to Northwestern in the summer of 2025, a first-team All-American brought in to fill the gaps left by 8 graduating starters. She put up record-breaking numbers at JMU, but her transition to the Lake Show helped her become even more of an offensive powerhouse, dominating the circle and finding openings in her opponent's defenses.
With the help of coach and my teammates and how much belief they pour into me, it was easy to get some confidence knowing I know their style and how they play. So I kind of took that and just focused on myself and just pouring my love into this team and everything we've built so far.
Her performance against her former team was a perfect example of this. NU relied exclusively on Epke in the draw circle against James Madison, and she recorded 9 draw controls, the most of any player in the game, allowing the Wildcats to outdraw the Dukes 15-9. She also recorded 1 goal and 4 assists.
I would say that just our whole offense is like a ton of threats, and I just got the lucky end of everyone scoring off my passes today, but everyone's throwing in great feeds and having great shots. It wouldn't happen without everyone around me. So I had a lot of confidence in my stick today and just focused on the trust in this team, and the girls were open, so I threw it right to them.
Epke brought the winning formula with her from JMU, allowing Northwestern to advance to the quarterfinals. Her postseason maturity and experience, as well as her strategic playmaking abilities, have allowed her to turn her individual success into a collective culture at Northwestern. For NNN Sports, I'm Fallon Prince.
The Cats have clearly had a crazy tournament so far. Thanks for that package, Fallon. And the tournament has been a crazy road for the Cats, but it was quite the road to get here as well and earn that #1 seed. SportsNight's Miguel Munoz has the scoop on the Lake Show's regular season showing.
After earning the #1 seed and home field advantage in the NCAA tournament, Northwestern lacrosse finds themselves yet again in a position to win it all. But just a few months earlier, there were major questions as to whether the Cats would be in this spot at all. After starting their season towards the top, NU looked primed to compete for another national championship. But 3 early season losses, all outside the top 10, quickly changed the Wildcats' identity from top dogs to underdogs. Star attacker Maddie Taylor noted that it was those same exact struggles that allowed this squad to grow and be stronger in close game situations at this point in the season.
I think that's one thing we've been talking about a lot is our resiliency that we've had throughout the whole entire year, even when it was in the beginning of the season or when we are in those tight games, we always find a way. And I think that has made us just be built for this, honestly, this month of May. And I feel like everyone kind of feels that way.
Now back at the top going into the tourney, this team has committed to staying humble, making sure not to forget the hurdles it overcame. Kelly Amante Hiller has carried that mentality into Martin Stadium, where she is now 38-0 in NCAA tournament games.
Well, the #1 seed, that's a label that we don't focus on labels. We just go out there and try to be our best version of ourselves. And if we get caught up in who we are or what we've done in the past, we're going to get off track. What we're focused in on is getting better every single day, really enjoying the experience with each other and just putting our best foot forward.
With the single elimination format meaning just one bad game could spell the end of the season, goalkeeper Jenica Cuoco stressed the importance of playing for each other late in the season.
We want as much time with each other as possible, so that's something that we've built into our narrative with each game that we go into.
And now just 2 months removed from a 5-3 start, Northwestern lacrosse has a chance to get back to the top of the mountain. For NNN Sports, I'm Miguel Munoz.
Thanks, Miguel. When we come back, NU baseball travel downstate with the season on the line. Don't go anywhere.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Ready, set, go!
Welcome back to the studio here in Evanston. A short ride to Wrigley Field. That's pretty good. That proximity on the CTA makes me feel pretty good as a diehard Cubs fan.
Okay, Pierson, I've taken the ride on down to Addison a couple of times, but hold up. The real team to look out for in the NL Central, it's not the Cubs. It's those Pittsburgh Pirates. It's the old Jolly Rogers. That's the team, man.
I mean, I guess if you say that's what it is, maybe, but realistically, the Cubbies are holding on to first place right now, and I'm not going to lie, it's a little concerning. Paul Skeens has some real regression this season. He's down .01 in his ERA year to year. Not looking good for the Pirates.
Okay, down .01, but still the best pitcher in the league, in my humble opinion. It's early in the season. There's plenty of time. Sure, the Pirates are only about 23-19 or so. They're not quite in first place. They're maybe in fourth in the NL Central. But there's plenty of time left in the season. There's plenty of time left for Skeens to develop. It's good to be a Pirates fan, man. Raise the flag. Raise the flag.
Whatever you say, man. And I guess just go hoist a cone or something. Isn't that what they're saying now? Either way, we've got a lot more pressing rivalries to attend to. Northwestern baseball entered this past weekend needing at least one win to stay alive for the hunt for the Big Ten tournament. But they'd had to get past their fierce in-state foes in Champaign to do so. Northwestern baseball made the trip downstate to face the Fighting Illini in a 3-game series. Will Johannes at bat for Illinois, bases loaded. He hits a double and the hosts go up 6-0 on their way to a 12-0 rout in Game 1. Now waiting for Game 2. Northwestern looking to complete a 3-run comeback in the 9th inning. Jackson Freeman reaches base on a fielding error, and Charlie Caruso gets home to make it a tie bowl game at 3-all. But now it is the bottom of the 9th. It's Johannes once again for Illinois. Crunch time at the plate coming up, and he hits it out of the park for a walk-off home run. Not what the Cats wanted. The Illini take Game 2, 4-3 in a heartbreaker for Northwestern. Now we're on to the third and final match of the series. Some celebration from the only one still on screen, and Illinois is off to another strong start. Colin Jennings hits a 3-run bomb, and the Illini are up 4-0. Again, just not the start the Cats wanted, and that really hurt them in the end. Now we're in the top of the 9th inning. Here's the pitch. Nick Barron hits a single. That will score Jake Yang, but it's too little too late for the visitors, and the Cats ultimately fall 10-3 as Illinois completes the sweep. Northwestern is now on to its final series of the season against Rutgers. The Wildcats are just wrapped up Game 1 tonight, and our very own Matt Campbell was there for all the action. Matt, how we doing?
Yeah, guys, today's first of a 3-game set against Rutgers was really a game that told the story of Northwestern's season, a day in which the offense provided a spark for the Wildcats in this one, but a day in which the bullpen and the defense really let it down. The Wildcats found themselves up 3 in the latter half of today's contest, went into the 7th inning with a sizable lead, but defense really took it away. Rutgers put up a 6-pot in that 7th inning, and it all started with a Logan DeGroot mishap in left field, losing the ball in the sun, which is, if you can tell, right in my face, but by default in Logan DeGroot's face, lost a fly ball in the sun that went into the warning track, ended up being a 3-base error, and from there the floodgates opened for the Scarlet Knights to take charge of this game and take the win here in Evanston. What's next for the Wildcats? Well, it's about finding that next arm, the arm of the future for this squad. It's such a veteran squad. We know that Garrett Shearer will be back, but somebody that provided some quality innings today was James Whitaker, one of the highest touted recruits on the West Coast, the number 2 pitcher out of the state of Nevada, really showed up and showed out for the Cats in the 8th and 9th inning today, and that could be a guy that Ben Greenspan looks to in the future to come out of that bullpen and be that closer. But today, it wasn't a game that Northwestern would like to remember, more so a game that Ben Greenspan's squad would like to forget. Back to you guys on desk.
Thanks for that, Matt. 2 more games remain in this final series, like you said, with first pitch tomorrow at 3 p.m. and then 1 p.m. on Saturday.
When we return from break, it's only 3 games into the WNBA season, but one Northwestern alum is making her presence felt. See you in 2.
Trying to work my way out of the prison system was the most difficult challenge of my life. It only became tangible once I became a Northwestern student.
One, two, three, 4.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Welcome back to Sports Night, everybody, where the question we all want to know the answer to: can anyone stop the Oklahoma City Thunder this year and those refs?
You know, Charles, they say all eyes are on 5. Anthony Edwards has really taken over in some of these games, and he's been hard to stop, but a certain Frenchman, the alien, could get in the way of that. Victor Wembanyama, of course, key for the Spurs. 3-2 right now. We'll see what happens, but I think either of those teams might just have what it takes to beat the Thunder.
Well, Pierson, I'm partial to Edwards myself. Very fun style of play, but he does have to get past Wembanyama, a tall order, literally. But hey, as a Bulls fan, you got to be feeling pleased with the draft lottery luck.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic. I mean, this could be a franchise-changing moment at 4, and I'm pretty excited to see what Bryson Graham is cooking up. And hey, maybe Nick Martinelli will end up back in Chicagoland in the second round. I don't know. I mean, for now, we've got some football news on the docket. Some news in football, like I just said, recruiting news this time for Northwestern. A QB who already knows the Big Ten quite well is coming to Evanston. On Sunday, class of 2027 QB R.J. Day Jr., son of Ohio State head coach Ryan Day, decided to take his talents to Northwestern. Still a junior in high school, Day Jr. has already broken his school's career records in passing yards and touchdowns. Last season, he tossed 25 touchdowns on a 72.5% completion rate. His dad, Ryan, meanwhile, has solidified himself as one of college football's top coaches and played for none other than current NU offensive coordinator Chip Kelly when he was a college quarterback. Keeping a strong relationship with Kelly is key. He's done that throughout the years, coaching alongside him at both the NFL and collegiate level. Day Jr.'s Northwestern journey won't start until fall 2027. We're already waiting for those future Ohio State-Northwestern matchups soon to come.
A pair of former basketball cats are making waves beyond Evanston. Nick Martinelli, on the one hand, is taking on the NBA Draft Combine this week. The star Northwestern forward scored 18 points on 7 of 11 shooting in a scrimmage yesterday. He is currently projected to be a late second-round pick. Now, over in Golden State, put some respect on Veronica Burton's name. The former Wildcat is lighting up the WNBA. 1 week into the season, she's a centerpiece on the 2-1 Golden State Valkyries. The 2025 Most Improved Player signed a 3-year, $2.9 million contract back in April, and she's held up her end of the agreement so far. Her 14.5 points per game is third on the squad, and she leads the team in assists, steals, and free throw percentage. Beyond the Valkyries, Burton is second in the WNBA in assists, dishing out 9 per game. In the season opener, VB put up 16 points versus the Seattle Storm. She then followed it up the next game with a 12-assist performance to sink the Phoenix Mercury.
This past weekend, women's golf made the short trip east to Ann Arbor, Michigan for the NCAA Ann Arbor Regional. Junior Ashley Yoon was crowned the individual champion. Over the course of the 3 days, Yoon shot an aggregate 5 under. Senior Diana Lee fell 1 stroke short of forcing a playoff against her teammate, but she shouldn't be too disappointed with the tie for second. It's safe to say not too many 3 putts from those two. As the team, the Cats finished 4th place behind USC, Ohio State, and Duke, finishing in the top 5, which means the women in purple will be advancing to the NCAA championships for the 16th consecutive season at the Omni La Costa Resort and Spa in Carlsbad, California in late May. Northwestern men's basketball has had quite the tumultuous offseason so far, but we have some more certainty finally as the schedule is set. The Wildcats are gearing up for a rigorous 20-game slate featuring home-and-home battles against regional rivals Illinois, Indiana, and Minnesota. Walsh Ryan Arena will also play host to West Coast powerhouses USC and UCLA as part of a loaded home slate. Charles, let's break it all down. What are your thoughts on this first schedule of the post-Nick Martinelli era?
Right. Well, Pierson, before we even get to this year's schedule, let's just remind everyone at home what happened last year. 5-15 in conference play. Not an impressive showing by Northwestern standards. That a team that 3 years ago was 12-8 in the Big Ten. That last year had 7 wins, and then now we're down to 5. Right. So it didn't look great as far as Northwestern's opponents went. The only ones that they beat in conference were USC, Penn State, Maryland, Indiana, and Oregon. Of those squads, only the Hoosiers had more than 7 victories in conference. So it wasn't exactly the most impressive year last year. But looking out at this year, it looks like there's a little bit of optimism to be had. It's not the easiest schedule. Obviously, you see that there's that road matchup versus Michigan, that road matchup versus Illinois. Obviously, it's 2 game series versus them. But you know, there is definitely some wins that can be had, especially in some of those home games against some of those lower teams. Yeah, no, I mean, first thoughts, just what do the Cats have to do to get above 5 wins, right? Who's going to show up in order to get them above 5 wins? I think for a couple of these games, like some of the home and home matchups, especially the one against Minnesota, maybe they pull out 1 win there. When it comes to Indiana, Cats played them twice last year, once during the regular season, once during the postseason, beat them in the second round of the Big Ten tournament. So maybe there's a chance that the Cats sweep them again. But overall, it's going to be a tough year for the Cats in Big Ten, no matter who they're up against.
Yeah, I mean, it is something where there are teams like Indiana, there are teams like Minnesota. Hopefully they can take advantage of them. But, either way, it's pretty good to see that the Cats will have a chance to improve on their record. And, speaking of Indiana, Jake West balled out last year in the regular season game against them. And considering the schedule, I'm kind of curious, could it be West? Could it be others? Like, which games on this schedule do you think will put Northwestern players under the spotlight?
Yeah, I think Jake West obviously is going to be one of the big guys you just talked about. Jake West is going to be one of the staples, especially because the Cats have lost so many pieces from last year. Obviously, the eligibility, Justin Mullins, Nick Martinelli, the conference leading scorer, right, 23 points a game, gone. To the transfer portal, who do we lose? Let me just list off some names for you. Trey Singleton, Jordan Clayton, KJ Wyndham, Arrington Page, Tyler Kropp, Jaden Reed, Max Green. I mean, what does team identity even look like for this Cats squad now, right? Of the returners, yeah, you mentioned Jake West, also Angelo Cheravino, sophomore this year, saw him, stepping into a slightly larger role. So it's really going to be, I'd say, on those two for the returners. But it's not just going to be them. There are a few transfers that the Cats have gotten. News they're coming to Evanston next year. I'm just going to mention a couple of them real quick. First of all, graduate forward Jack Karasinski from Bellarmine, 6'7" forward, and he was that was a 6'7" joke unintentionally. He averaged 21 points per game last season, 21.7, 56% shooting, and 42 from 3. Right now, obviously, this is at Bellarmine. This is not Big Ten competition, but that is still a rather impressive clip to be sporting, and you've got to just produce where you can, right? Additionally, forward Luke McGeldon from Mount St. Mary's, he was averaging 11 points per game on 64% shooting, 6% clip on rebounds. Colin Smith, forward from UC Santa Barbara, 6'8", 11.9 points per game, 40% from 3. So a couple of guys that the Cats have now that, Northwestern has to be hoping that they can shoot at a somewhat similar clip, even though now they're entering such a tough conference like the Big Ten.
For sure, and looking at the road slate, the history is daunting. Aside from recent success in Bloomington, the Wildcats are facing decade-long droughts in Champaign, in Ann Arbor, in West Lafayette, plus intimidating trips to Oregon and Washington searching for their first wins at the recent Big Ten additions in the West. I mean, given that Northwestern hasn't won at Michigan, you mentioned them, you mentioned Illinois, Michigan since 2010, Illinois since 2013. I mean, those are long times. How do you see this group navigating those historic road woes? And maybe give me a conference prediction in the record.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the road woes for the Cats have been very bad. Obviously, not beating Michigan on the road in quite a long time. But at the same time, and you can see it here on screen, if we're going to play Michigan, if the Cats are going to play Michigan, might as well put it on the road. Might as well not have that be one of the games where you're hoping to eke out a Welsh Ryan victory, right? Let's focus on those Welsh Ryan games being against teams like Iowa. Iowa made it to the NCAA tournament last year, made a little bit of a run, but in the Big Ten standings, they're around the middle of it. Look at beating teams like maybe USC if you can pull out a win. Beat a team like Minnesota, pull out a win there. UCLA, pull out a win there, right? They only have to win 5 Big Ten games in order to pass their Big Ten conference record last year. So if they can just get 8 or 9 games, maybe just even 8, not even getting back to 500, that'd be a real improvement for this Cat squad. I think that would give them a lot to look at. So I wouldn't worry too much about the road woes with Michigan, with Illinois. Just focus on those games that you can win as Northwestern, and that might do enough for you.
Charles, I mean, I hope you're right. And, with this new expanded tournament, they might just make it with a 500 record. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's a wrap on our first look of the 2026-27 Big Ten slate. And, we're looking forward to seeing what Chris Collins' squad can put together this season.
And here's where you can catch those Cats.
You could have seen them taking on Colorado today on the Lakeside. What a game.
Women's cross country and track will travel to Lincoln, Nebraska for the Big Ten Outdoor Championships, running Friday through Sunday.
Finally, as we mentioned before, baseball wraps up their series versus Rutgers at Rocky and Bernice Miller Park on Saturday at 1 p.m.
When we come back, for the first time in Sports Night history, we have an innovation on everyone's favorite part of the show. Stay tuned.
I'm Kelly McEvers, founding host of the NPR podcast Embedded.
I'm James Edwards, host of the Unresolved podcast from Frontline.
I'm Antonia Cereijido, former senior producer of Anything for Selena podcast and current executive producer at LAS Studios.
My narrative, since I've been locked up and kind of made my transition, has been like redemption, accountability.
When I come into the classroom environment, every individual that sits amongst me takes education seriously.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Welcome back to Sports Night, everyone, where our show is almost over.
Charles, that realization's got me feeling some real chest pains. I might need a doctor, man.
I've been suffering with a sore throat myself. I think I might need to go home and rest up, but I'll come back for you.
Wait, you're forgetting everyone's favorite part of the night. Only we've got a little spin on it this time. It's time for Players of the Week. Welcome into Player of the Week, where we highlight the top performers from Northwestern sports this year. Charles, who's up first?
Well, it has to be number 25 herself for me. Senior attacker Madison Taylor was on fire against JMU on Sunday, dropping a season-high 8 goals to lead Northwestern to victory. Obviously, 4 goals today against Colorado. During the first half of that game against JMU, she scored every 6 minutes on average, and at 463 career points, she's now only 20 points behind NU's all-time points leader, Izzy Skane.
And now, no doubt, Madison Taylor will continue to be dominant, but my pick is junior golfer Ashley Yoon. Dominant performance in the NCAA Ann Arbor Regional, and just 1 year after that runner-up performance, she won the individual title. She opened with a bogey-free 66 and finished 5 under par to claim the win. Her second career victory has powered the Cats to maybe win a second straight NCAA championship. That berth is key as they head to Carlsbad to try to go back-to-back. A lot of postseason prowess from these Cats. We're looking forward to seeing what they will do next, but for now, I think it might just be time to wrap up.
Agreed, Pierson. Hope you take care of those chest pains. But for everyone at home, make sure to follow us on Instagram at @NNN_sports and on X at NNN Sports for our continuing coverage of everything Northwestern sports.
You know, Charles, I do have to say, I love Sports Night. Shout out to all of our production crew right here. Shout out to the Dillo Day lineup. I hope to see you there, Charles. Either way, for Charles White, I'm Pierson Strandquist. It's been a great time. We'll see you at Dillo. We'll see you next time. Good night.